G'day, podcasters. I would like for you to all join me in wishing Andrew Hayes a very happy birthday.
Oh, thank you, everybody. Okay. Okay. I'm not that old. Thank you. I appreciate that.
No one said you're old. Stop being so defensive.
I'm hearing voices. Someone saying, what is he, 45?
You've had the spookiest birthday ever, though, because Abby in the newsroom is adamant that her parents' house is haunted.
Wow.
She's been having some late night encounters, and to be quite frank, that made her a little bit grumpy.
We're talking ghost stories, right?
Ghost, yes. You're like, did I just push the right button? Enjoy the podcast.
Jodes, newsreader Abby is in the studio. Good morning, Abs.
Good morning.
With all due respect, we sensed that you were a little bit flat yesterday, and we since discovered why. You're not getting any sleep.
Yeah, I didn't have any sleep on Sunday. I usually struggle a little bit because you've had 2 days of no alarms, but I'm in the house on my own because my parents have gone away for 9 weeks.
Yeah.
So I've got 2 sausage dogs, which, let's be honest, are going to do nothing. But, yeah, I'm in the house on my own, and I'm a little bit spooked because I think that there's maybe someone in there with me.
Oh, what?
No, I haven't found the love of my life. I think it's somebody who shouldn't be in there.
You keep working through that list of yours, you'll get there eventually, Dale.
Is he lost? What's he doing in there?
Yeah, so...
You're in a haunted house.
Yeah, and we've got a bit of a history with our house, to be completely honest. So anyway, I was laying in bed, and I have had twice now since I've been home. It feels like water washing over my feet, and then this feeling of like, oh my God, don't look, someone's there. And it sounds ridiculous, but I think there's something like I after the first time I saged the house and they went, but I think they've come back because I'm on my own.
Oh, sorry, Abs, that was me. I flooded the bathroom.
But yeah, it's this weird like water across. It's almost like you're standing on the beach and the water comes up and rushes over your feet. So I get that, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, if I open my eyes, someone's going to be standing there and it's someone bad.
What about Abby? She's like, I'm not sure if my place is haunted, but the other day I went into the spare room and the room was completely full of blood. And I opened up the door and it came rushing out.
Well, see, the problem is I said to myself that I was banning myself from listening to anything true crime, and I've been smashing case file over the last few days, so this is probably also an issue.
Do you ever get the sense that sometimes you're your own worst enemy?
I definitely am. I love to self-sabotage. That's what I do.
Yeah. Being there, sister.
But yeah, we have a little bit of a history with that at our house. So back when we were little, we used to say that we used to make our beds in the mornings, and then she'd walk down and they were all messy again. Turns out that there were 3 kids and this old guy in our house, and they were playing on our bed. So one day she walks down and she says, right, that's it, you need to go outside, I'm sick of this.
Talking to the ghost.
Yep, so she's talking to the ghost. She pushes them outside. But then this is the best part. It's a 40-degree day one day, so she walks outside and she goes, oh, I feel really bad. It's 40 degrees. Guys, you can come back in. And lets them back into the house.
Mrs. Smith, we're thirsty.
Yeah. Shout out to Cheryl Smith. She's going to kill me for this. But yeah, anyway, so I think that someone might be there.
When you started that story then, and you like we'd made our beds and then they'd be messed up again, I thought you were just bullshit kids about making your bed.
You never bullshit with Cheryl Smith, I can tell you.
Oh, man, I love this. 13, 24, 10, ghost stories. There's so many good ones out there. So we haven't had any ones directly, but I know a lot of people, particularly when we were living towards the Brompton area. There are so many people who apparently, because I think it's through the jails or all sorts of things back in the day.
Yeah.
Apparently there's ghosts everywhere in all sorts of houses there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going home to sage the house again tonight because I can't go through this no sleep thing for 9 weeks.
Yeah. Abby's just going to sage herself so much, we're going to think she's a hippie.
Why don't you just...
smelling like hemp.
I'll sage the house and it'll throw me outside because I'm the issue.
Why don't you tie a little bit of sage to Tank's collar so Tank can just trot around the house, like cleansing it?
That's a good idea, actually. Both of them can have that. Because Tori was doing laps last night, let them sleep inside, and she's bloody doing laps at 1:30 in the morning.
I love as well that the ghosts have a big meeting. They're like, hey, Sage, or you want Abby, we've had a meeting and you're the issue. You've got to go. Producer Zoe.
Good morning.
Oh, you've been touched by a ghost.
I have. I really don't believe in this stuff, but I have had an experience that's pretty undeniable. A few years ago, I was still living with my mum and we had a dog, a big Old English sheepdog, Jemima, and she could not handle storms or the weather, or she'd freak out in the night.
Sorry, just quick. Jemima, the dog.
I had to say
same thought. I just didn't want to be rude.
Jemima. It's such a beautiful formal name for a dog. Sorry. Where were we?
Anyway, Jemima was sleeping on the end of my bed and it was a huge storm, big enough that it woke me up. And I went, oh, she's not freaking out. That's good. And I looked down and it was because Bindi, my mum, was at the end of the bed patting her. So she must have heard her and come in. And I went, oh, hi, Bin. And she didn't say anything. I was lying there watching her pat her. I was like, Bindi, Bin. And then this thing just looked at me and disappeared and it wasn't Mum. It wasn't Bindi.
That's epic.
Yeah, it was freaky as. But Jemima was dead calm and she's never calm in a storm. So
I just got goosebumps.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not sleeping tonight.
Okay, Abby, you need to take your headphones off and not listen to the next callers either.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll never sleep again.
Yeah.
All right, we are taking your calls 13 24 10. Jake?
G'day, how you going?
Oh, good, thanks, mate. Take us through your ghost story. What do you got?
When we were living, Manapara West, my partner used to keep saying there was like something in the house. Then our son come into the picture and for months or a couple of years he kept saying there was a lady in his room. So he used to always wake up crying. Wouldn't go down the hallway if he was in the living room.
Oh, my God.
And then we recently found out there was actually a murder in the house before we moved in.
Oh, that's the kicker, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the real estate agent didn't think to mention it?
No, they said they didn't have to tell us anything about it because we're not the actual buyers.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Wow.
Thanks, Jake. Angela, who's the ghost?
So it was my grandma. So I live in Adelaide now, and she lived out in the country. And one day, a big frame that I had made for me by a friend in the country fell off my wall in my bedroom, and there was no doors open, no air conditioner on, and it just fell off my wall and broke everywhere. And then we found out later that night that my grandma had passed away that afternoon.
Oh.
It's her way of saying goodbye.
Nan was just making a statement. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Angela. Let's go to Chantel. Who's the ghost?
I'm freezing.
You okay?
So, I grew up at West Beach and we lived in this house, and there were stories that it used to be like a party house and things like that. But growing up as a kid, I always experienced this little girl, and she would move my dolls around when I was asleep. Then when we were starting to sell the house, and my parents painted the walls in the hallways, lots of little kids' handprints were all over the walls. And then one night I got called back from my parents going, oh, you need to come back. One of their mates had explained the little girl to them and kind of confirmed to them that they had saw her as well. And so I went back and we kind of had a little bit of a fight because I'm like, no, you explained to me what she looked like. So I wasn't giving away what she looked like and everything like that. And he explained her to the T, and her name's Anna. And she used to wear a school uniform, short hair and everything like that. So, yeah, she always used to play around with my dolls and everything like that. But for someone to confirm it as well and had seen her, it was kind of even more freaky.
Oh,
was that sort of validation and vindication for you, Chantal? Like, I wasn't imagining this my whole childhood?
Yeah, because I always thought I was a little bit like, why am I seeing these things, etc. But no, confirmed it. But I still feel like there's not a closing story to her. I feel like she might be one of the Beaumont kids.
Oh my God.
Oh, that would be a solid storyline, wouldn't it? Oh my gosh.
It's me. That's
all right.
Extraordinary. Thank you, Chantal. Thank you so much. We're taking another call.
Let's take one more call. Let's wrap it up. Let's go to Alex. What have you got? Let's wrap this up.
Well, I lived in a flat just for a short term, 6 months or so, with my sister. And she woke up one night because she heard voices in her room and she hadn't opened her eyes. When she actually did, eventually, there was 2 or 3 or 4 people standing in the corner of the room. And they were all hunched together with their heads down, sort of talking quietly. And she said a couple of them looked like they were really, really old-time monks and some other oldie-worldy person. And when she sort of sat up in bed, they turned around and looked at her as if to say, oh, sorry, and were
Didn't
really...
mean to wake you.
Yeah, didn't mean to wake you. Oh, we're really sorry. And then they disappeared. And a couple of weeks later, some friends of mine came to visit, and one of the friends is a psychic, And my sister told him the story, and he said, well, yeah, of course, because apparently the flat was a portal to other worlds. What? And so it would readily let people in and out. And he said the lady who used to live in the flat was also back there, and she was really, really pleased because my sister and I were living there and we were really happy, and apparently she loved it because there was always laughter and fun in the flat. And it was one of the best times for a short-term rental, one of the best times in my life that I've ever had.
So I had to say,
always
Alex,
really happy.
Alex, that smacks of Outlander.
Oh
if
my
anyone's ever
God,
seen
this
that,
is the-
that's the Outlander house.
Is this Stranger Things 5?
Yeah.
It's a happy, good ghost story. It wasn't a scary one.
Thank you, Alex.
Have you checked out whatif.com's top 10 winter weekenders yet?
How good's a what if tip?
Launceston's in there, Canberra, Cairns, Tweed Heads.
Book your winter getaway on the What If app.
What if it's Aussie for travel?
Now, it is your birthday. You're celebrating your 38th birthday today. You are a much loved and valued member of this team. We know that you don't like the attention. We know that you'd let it go through to the keeper if you could, but that's not in our nature. So we've compiled, I want to say, a little best of your work.
Well, this
but
is nice.
It's a real mixed bag.
Well, this is nice because I'm still waiting for the stripper to come through the door. We got Jodie a stripper for her birthday.
See, that's the difference. I just would not do that to you. I've compiled something, not just this whole team has put something really nice together for you. Do you want to have a listen?
Yes,
Push
please.
that button there, please.
Okay.
Well, 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 it's a special day indeed.
Yes, it's Friday. Let's go, oh, yeah. It's Friday. Yeah. What's up, bitches? Yeah. It's Friday. What's up, bitches? Yeah. What's up? It's Friday.
No, it isn't Friday, but it is our good friend Andrew Hayes' birthday. And to celebrate, we thought it only right to relive some of his best or worst moments on the show so far, starting with New Year's Eve and a walrus.
The town was forced to cancel its New Year's Eve fireworks after a giant walrus lobbed into its harbour and put on a show of its own on itself. Are you picking up what I'm putting out there? Thor, the walrus, put on an X-rated show taking himself to Pleasure Town, which marked an end to a town's New Year's Eve fireworks display. Richard Coulson, who's 51, said, "It's amazing how much attention it's brought. It's the first time I've ever seen one. It's huge. You respect nature when you see something of that size." The rest of the walrus is pretty big too. I can't direct quote Richard. I might have made up that last bit. Stuart Ford, who runs the Sea Life Safari boat tour agency, said, "I was going down to my boat and there it was on the slipway. Magnificent. I think it's a once-in-a-lifetime in Scarborough to see. Now I can one day tell my kids I saw a walrus going hammer and tong on itself. How lucky am I?"
And one thing we do love about Hayesy is his quick wit. He has some cracking one-liners, sometimes, unless they're pickup lines. You're up.
What about this one? Are you a parking ticket? Because you've got fine written all over you. If you're a transformer, you'd be Optimus Fine. And then you make this sound. And that was the difference. And then it was on.
Although they might help explain speculation about his bedroom performance.
I don't know why I'm going to say this, but I just really think that you wouldn't know what you were doing.
Why do you get that impression?
Because in all other aspects of your life, you're pretty clueless, so I can't imagine you'd excel.
And he's not that great at pushing buttons behind his desk either.
If you can't even push the right buttons on a desk to control a radio station, how could you possibly please a woman?
No, you're right. Anyway, I didn't mean this to turn into a pick on Hayesy session, but it kind of has, and I like
How
it.
many times has Gareth said, "What are you doing? What are you pressing that for? That's not working. I'm not a panel."
Anyway, as Andrew would say, moving swiftly on.
Let's move on swiftly. Punchy. Let's go.
Credit where it's due, Hayesy is an incredibly smart man, particularly when it comes to the topic of women doing housework. You know, he's really quiet on this one, Andrew. We haven't heard much from you, mate.
I am not an intelligent man, but I know when to keep my mouth shut.
And you can count on him for being honest and direct, like the time he left producer Zoe some feedback about her lack of voicemail.
Because I don't have a voicemail.
Right.
Hayesy had a lot to say about that.
Zoe, first thing and foremost, get voicemail. Like, grow up.
I don't remember telling you to grow up, Zoe. I don't feel great about that.
Or when he had some choice words for a tradie who cut him off in the traffic.
My brain fired back saying, "Oh, thanks for that, Justin Bieber's uncle."
But what we do know is he does have a softer side, which we've all loved watching come to light this year.
Our kids are little legends. Henry is already a loving, caring, protective big brother to our little Lottie, and it's all because of how he's being raised by his mum. He's already got beautiful little morals, and it's been easy for him to pick that up because he just watches his mum. Our daughter Lottie is batshit crazy. She might have elements of her mum. She already has a big, beautiful personality like mum, and she's in great hands with her big bro. I should say it more instead of waiting for a designated day, but I'm very lucky to have a mum like I have, and to have my wife Cara as the mother of our children. And boy, I'd be lost without it.
So to our funny, quick-witted, fiery and forgetful friend, happy birthday, Andrew Hayes. Here's to you, great man.
Hell yeah! Thank you. Thanks, Jones. Thank you, everyone.
And I have to say, we had to put something like that together because you're the hardest man on the planet to buy for. I just flat out rang you yesterday and said, I don't know. I'm out. I'm tapping out. I can't think of something to buy you for your birthday. So that was your gift.
Oh, that's really nice. So thank you for everyone who put that together. Very nice. Eyes are getting a bit leaky.
Are they?
What's
Leaky
going on here?
eyes.
Hay fever in the middle of winter?
What are you doing for your birthday? Anything special?
No, I don't think so. We're going out to a school today for Nova's handball. That's all I need.
You're welcome.
Oh, thank you very much. Really nice. Now let's get stuck back into that cake.
Okay.
Remember last week when we rattled off the story about the Ecuadorian grandmother who unfortunately passed away and then woke up in the coffin? Knocked on the coffin and they were like, what's going on here? And she survived?
We're 5 hours into the wake when neck minute, it's just quiet in the place and they just hear this.
And they're like, hello?
Hello?
And she was like, hey, what's going on?
Hey, is there a party? Am I invited?
Yeah.
What's happening here?
She said, geez, I'm hungry. Been in here for a while.
And then they rushed her back to hospital, but there's been a turn of events, hasn't there, Andrew?
And then everyone was looking at the doctor, the Ecuadorian Dr. Nick.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
Well, mate, what happened? What happened with that one? He's like, sometimes we make mistakes in the industry. Well, there's been a bit of a follow-up.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she has since passed away,
Okay.
which isn't a really good thing. But we did get in contact, and a few people have been in contact with the Ecuadorian Dr. Nick as well.
Yes,
just to
right.
make sure they know exactly what's happening here. So
Yeah.
on high alert for the next funeral, and they know what the process is when they hear a... No, we're not falling for that again. No, you're staying in there. But quite seriously, may she rest in peace.
Yes.
And to all the Ecuadorians listening this morning,
Yep.
well done. Don't see an Ecuadorian doctor.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
Because what have we learnt? They don't know what they're talking about. Let's talk about the working week. It is currently Tuesday, but there's a bit of a trend that's going across workplaces in Australia, which is very much dividing opinion, and it's very much a generational debate. What about
Okay.
this? Bare minimum Mondays, they reckon, is potentially a thing for a lot of workplaces in this country. It's a popular movement that aims to promote a gentle start to the working week by easing the usual pressures and expectations that can arise after the weekend.
You've just had 2 days off.
Oh.
You should be fresh and ready to go.
Because, the weekend can be so taxing. It can look different for each team and company. That usually entails the staff working from home on Mondays and while doing the least amount of work required for their role. There are some workplaces that are all for it. And as you can imagine, there's a bunch of bosses are like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, come
Like we have to babysit you into the working week?
Come on, come into work. Come on. I want to stay home. It's warmer here. Thanks, pandemic.
Yeah.
Just bred a whole nation of people who are just going about it half-assed.
To say there are a lot of people in this workplace that just happily work from home.
It's Tuesdays at Nova, isn't it?
It's Tuesday.
Yeah, today. A lot of people are working from home.
It's like, we've put in a solid half-assed Monday.
Yeah.
And now Tuesday, I've earned myself a rest.
Yeah, you better be listening too, okay? And if you are, God, you're lazy people from... Just kidding. And when does it finish?
What do you mean?
I mean, if it starts with bare minimum Monday, what's next? I mean, I'll tell you where it goes.
Where?
And this is a really, really dangerous path. You've got bare minimum Monday,
Yeah.
and then it turns into too much to do Tuesday. Not much of a work ethic there. And then you get to why start now Wednesday? Bosses are sitting there going, well, this is just, the productivity is not there.
God.
And then eventually you get to, I think I'm over it Thursday. And then finally, everyone's favourite day of the week, least productivity. Oh, f*** it, it's Friday.
And then everyone's like, where's all our free beer and wine on a Friday afternoon?
See ya. I'm going to the weekend.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me you built a time machine?
Hazy's on Miss Daisy.
Tuesday. Time for that little trip that you've been craving. Knowledge.
Yeah.
Really, really special birthday on this day.
Is it?
Yeah.
Whose is it?
Nicole Kidman.
Oh.
She was born in 1967. Today's Nicole's 56th birthday. Well done to her.
56. Yeah. She looks incredible for her age.
I was she looks so good for her age. Oh, just kidding, okay?
Just kidding, Jennifer Aniston, who gets very offended by that phrase.
Such a backhanded compliment. 1975, Jaws, the movie, opened in US cinemas. Here he comes. Oh, get out of the water. There's a giant mechanical shark in there. He's really jerky with his movements. But terrifying nonetheless.
What about when you watch that as a kid and you're like, this is the scariest thing of all time, and now when you watch it as an adult, you're like, that's not a real shark.
What is going on? Yeah, that's not realistic at all.
No.
But in saying that, around about the same time when I was watching Jaws, I snuck out one time and watched The Exorcist.
Oh, dumb.
Yes. That genuinely changed my life.
Did it?
In a really bad way.
What are you afraid of now?
Everything. I'm afraid of demons coming down the stairs backwards.
Yeah.
In like a reverse push-up type position and then vomiting blood at me.
Yeah.
You get those fears as well?
Yeah.
It's my biggest fear.
It's right up there with coming in here every morning.
Yeah. That's how you come in some mornings as well. Morning, Jodes.
I'm not going to disagree. It's how it feels sometimes.
Some real Exorcist vibes. It's nice. 1987, New Zealand's All Blacks defeated France to win rugby union's first ever World Cup.
The inaugural World Cup has gone to this marvellous New Zealand side. Winning margin of 20 points. The crowd streams onto the ground.
It's just so dominant.
Aren't they good?
It took them a long time, though, to really, I suppose, establish themselves post-1987, that Rugby World Cup. It took them until 2011 and 15 to really show how much they dominated.
It's a long time between drinks.
Yeah. 2017, British actor Daniel Day-Lewis announces his retirement from acting. Very, very serious.
Yeah.
The way that he goes about it.
Yeah.
Good actor, though.
Pretty intense.
Yeah. He's no Jeff Daniels, though. No.
Dumb and Dumber.
There'll never be another Dumb and Dumber. 2010, Despicable Me, with voices by Steve Carell and Jason Segel, premieres at the Moscow Film Festival. They loved it at Moscow, too. The Russians can't get enough of Despicable Me.
Maybe if they spent more time watching that as opposed to invading other countries, we'd all be better off.
Yeah, exactly. The number one song on June 20th in 2011 was Party Rock Anthem by LMFAO.
Oh, yeah, man.
Go get it, Foo.
You wear those sunglasses inside all your life, Dale.
We go around, Foo, with the lensless glasses.
Yeah.
Oh. What a party boy. Good stuff.
The biggest breaking story this town has ever seen. This is huge.
Jodies Juice.
Well, Robbie Williams had to stop his concert halfway through, saying he was absolutely cooked. Have a listen to this.
Stop. I'm so dumb, It's long COVID. I've got long COVID, and it's not my age.
I mean, who else could do something like that and it still be so charming?
Yeah. It's just cute and funny.
Really nice.
So basically, he's had 2 bouts of COVID. The first was in April 2020. He was at home in LA, and at the time he said he was feeling lethargic, tired and heavy. He spent 3 weeks isolating from his family. Later in 2020, he got it again. No, then he moved to the Swiss mountains to try and avoid getting it again. He moved to the Swiss mountains.
Hang on. So what's happening in the Swiss mountains that we're missing out on?
Well, he said, I'm a bit neurotic, but I presume that I can't get it there. So he went and spent some time there. And then he went to the Caribbean with his family and had to isolate for 2 weeks in his $186,000 a week accommodated villa.
That's a good place to hole up, isn't it?
If you're ever going to get COVID, come at me in the Caribbean.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, I'll stay here. It's all good. I will never go home.
Yeah, Robbie can do those sorts of things. Juicy.
Let's move on to another Robbie, Margot. She's given fans a behind-the-scenes look inside her whimsical Barbie Dreamhouse set. And that's going to feature in the highly anticipated Barbie movie out next month. She, of course, plays Barbie, and she opens the door with the B-shaped knobs and says this.
Okay.
Welcome to Barbie's Dreamhouse. Come on in. This is my breakfast table and my kitchen. We're in the living room right now. Here's a fun little bar and the slide that goes from the bedroom down into the pool. Not super practical, but nothing is for Barbie.
Ah, yes, the B-shaped knobs.
Yep. It's worth having a look at this set. It looks absolutely fantastic. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
Looks really cool. I want to see that just for the fascination factor of that movie.
Yeah, I'm just not sure. So if I've got a almost 3-year-old daughter,
yeah,
could you take her along to this sort of movie? Like, is it all ages?
I don't know. Who's to say?
Is there a bit of sass behind this sort of version of Barbie?
I honestly do not know. I don't know if it's a kids' film or if it's G-rated, PG. Who's to say?
No, well, we might have to see it and find out. Juicy!
Juicy! All know what happens when Barbie and Ken get behind closed doors, am I right?
It's PG-13.
Oh, is it?
PG-13,
Thank you.
So
okay.
probably not for
Not
your
for Lottie.
little one.
Yeah.
He's 10 years off.
Yeah. As if you didn't make Barbie and Ken pash when you were younger. Just make them mac on.
What? Who was doing that?
Me.
Everyone.
It sounds like I was about to say, it sounds like a Tassie thing, but Abby was doing it too. Against their will. Goodness me.
Anyway, let's move on to a story that is equally disturbing as Barbie and Ken macking on. Things get very steamy when Elizabeth Hurley strips off for a mummy-daddy scene with a female lover in a new erotic thriller. This is where it takes a real twist. Guess who it's directed by?
Oh, well, what, an ex-boyfriend or an ex-husband?
Her son, Damien.
Oh, yeah.
Who's 21.
That is outrageous.
Son is 21 years old.
Imagine your mum directing your mum in a situation like that.
So she's 58 and she romps with actress Pear Shavara in a sizzling scene for Strictly Confidential. I just discuss. It's to me so weird when people like Mel B do a lingerie shoot with their daughter. I don't understand combining sexuality with your kids like that. It's just so bizarre.
I need you to imagine directing Colleen in a specific scene right now. I mean, where do you start?
Don't make me just do that. Everyone, think about directing your parents in that scenario. Thank you very much.
I'm not really sure.
What do you mean you're not sure?
I'm not sure how that's going to go down. What an interesting little situation that would be.
Okay.
And that's Jodies Juice.
Big show coming up tomorrow. Nova's Pay Your Bills returns, as does Have It On Hayesy. Lewis Capaldi, more tickets up for grabs.
Sold out concert. Your only chance to get your hands on some ticks.